Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Money Means Business. My name is Ahmed Nader, and tonight we're going to focus on the latest economic updates on the domestic front here in Egypt. And we will be starting straight away with the main top stories that took place for today and for the past week as well, as the Prime Minister reviewed the measures to secure the required financing for the new and the renewable energy projects. Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, the Prime Minister, held a press conference and a meeting today to follow up on the measures to secure the financing required for the new and renewable energy projects in the governorate of Al Buhaira. At the meeting, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli emphasized the purpose of the meeting was to review the availability of the financing needed for the new and renewable projects in accordance with the scheduled implementation timelines in the governorate of Al Buhaira. The Prime Minister explained that securing the financial allocations is essential to meet the needs of the national grids of electricity and reduce the cost of the conventional fuel consumption as well. And moving on to the activities of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli for the past week and in the past few days, more specifically for the projects of the renewable energy and the new energy in general for the projects. As Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, the Prime Minister, had held a meeting to follow up on the measures to secure the financing required for the new and renewable energy projects, and the meeting was attended by Engineer Mahmoud Asmat, Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy, Mr. Ahmed Kojok, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Ali Assisi, the Assistant Minister of Finance for the State Budget, Engineer Nihed Mursi, the Assistant Minister of Planning for the Infrastructure Affairs, and a number of other officials. At the beginning of the meeting, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli emphasized that the purpose of the meeting was to review the availability of the financing needed for the new and the renewable energy projects in accordance with the scheduled implementation timelines. The Prime Minister explained that securing the financial allocations is essential to meet the needs of the national electricity grid and reduce the cost of the conventional fuel consumption. He also directed that the ongoing coordination between the Ministries of Electricity and Finance, as well as the other relevant ministries and entities, continue in order to ensure the rapid integration of the additional clean energy capacity into the grid, thereby meeting the growing electricity demand and ensuring the sustainability of the service. And within the activities of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli all over the country today, will be shedding more light on the activities of Prime Minister Madbouli in the governorate of the New Valley. As Dr. Madbouli, the Prime Minister, chaired a meeting to review the implementation status of the service and the development projects in the New Valley governorate. The meeting was attended by Dr. Manal Awad, Minister of Local Development and Environment, and Ms. Hanan Megdi, the Governor of the New Valley. The Prime Minister began the meeting by emphasizing that it is a part of the government's regular monitoring of the service and the development projects across all the governorates with the aim of accelerating the implementation and enhancing the efficiency of the services provided to the citizens. The Minister of Local Development noted that the New Valley Governorate possesses unique development potential, highlighting the 100% completion of the Decent Life projects in Farafra Center as a model of the successful implementation. She added that all the development and the service-related sectors are being continuously monitored in coordination with the Governor. During the meeting, the Governor of the New Valley presented a report entitled "The New Valley, a Strategic Vision Toward an Integrated and Sustainable Desert Economy." Meanwhile, on Monday, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli said that Egypt is committed to availing the industrial growth opportunities aiming at the localization of the national industries and increasing the domestic production levels. The remarks came as he inaugurated and inspected the new production lines in several plants in the city of the 6th of October, specialized in vehicles, food and medicine industries. Madhbouli confirmed that he inspected a number of industrial edifices, signifying the state keenness on improving the industrial sector and stimulating its growth to order to attract further investment opportunities and boost the Egyptian economy. The Premier also emphasized that the government also aims at providing job opportunities, reinforcing the national exports and reducing the reliance on imports, as well as training the Egyptian youth workforce and improving the latest high-tech engineering industries so as to attract the hard currency's earnings. Welcome back. You're still watching Money Means Business, and we will be returning once again to the top stories that we have seen on the economic domestic level here in Egypt for the past week. And we return to the activities of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madhbouli, who on Monday had met with the top executives of the International Nissan Corporation on the sidelines of the ceremony, hailing the production of Africa's first Nissan magnet car in Egypt. The Prime Minister said that the state has great confidence in Nissan's plans, given its status as a leading car manufacturer, and looks forward to more future cooperation. The head of the government hailed the launch of the Nissan magnet car, saying that he is looking forward to seeing the first Nissan electric car produced in Egypt. And we head to the report of Money Means Business for this week, and it focuses on the activities of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madhbouli on the economic front in the Governorate of Alexandria.
Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madhbouli inaugurated and inspected a series of industrial projects in Alexandria that support over 20,700 direct jobs and are expected to generate hundreds of millions of dollars in exports as Egypt pushes to expand manufacturing, localize strategic industries, and boost foreign currency earnings. The projects included the opening of the J Textile ready-made garments factory, the inauguration of the first phase of the Gharabli industrial complex, the expansion of the Shahinler Egypt 2 garments facility, the launch of a new production line at Lipton Teas and Infusions Egypt, and an inspection of Alstom's railway manufacturing complex in New Burj Al Arab city. The investments underscore Egypt's efforts to attract export-oriented manufacturing, particularly in textiles, engineering industries, and transport equipment, which the government views as key drivers of industrial growth and job creation. Madhbouli said the government remains committed to supporting industrial investment through infrastructure development, incentives, and measures to increase production and exports. One of the largest projects inaugurated during the tour was the J Textile factory, owned by Turkey-based Jasmine Group, which employs more than 15,000 workers across its facilities in Alexandria, Ismailia, and the 10th of Ramadan city. Company officials said investment in the Alexandria factory is close to £500 million, and annual exports are expected to range between 500 million. Madhbouli also inaugurated the latest expansion of Shahinler Egypt 2, owned by Turkey's Shahinler Holding Group. The expansion includes 32 new production lines and has created 1,500 direct jobs and around 4,500 indirect jobs, with exports projected to reach nearly $55 million in 2026. In the engineering sector, the Prime Minister inaugurated the first phase of the Gharabli industrial complex, a steel fabrication and engineering hub with an annual production capacity exceeding 100,000 tons. The complex currently employs around 3,000 workers and is expected to expand to 5,000 employees in future phases. It is designed to support major infrastructure projects, including ports, transport corridors, and industrial developments. Madbouli also inspected the Alstom Industrial Complex, a cornerstone of Egypt's railway localization program. The project includes a factory for electrical railway systems and another for rolling stock production, including metro trains, trams, light rail vehicles, monorails, and high-speed trains. Together, the facilities are expected to create around 950 jobs. The Prime Minister later inaugurated a new production line at Lipton Teas and Infusions, Egypt's factory in Borg El Arab. The tour also included an inspection of the Lieutenant General Omar Suleiman Axis, the western arc of Alexandria's Ring Road, a strategic transport project aimed at improving connectivity between key economic and logistics hubs.
And from the activities of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli to Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdul Ati, as a phone call took place between Dr. Badr Abdul Ati, the Foreign Minister, and the Mr. Wamakeli Maine, the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. The discussion focused on ways to support the economic and trade integration efforts and enhance the intra-African trade among the African countries. Minister Abdul Ati emphasized the importance that Egypt attaches to implementing the African Free Trade Area, considering it one of the continent's most significant integration projects. For his part, the Secretary General praised the Egyptian active role in supporting economic integration efforts across the continent. He commended Egypt's contributions to advancing the implementation of the agreement and promoting the intra-African trade, expressing his desire to continue the close cooperation with Egypt in the upcoming period to help achieve the development and prosperity goals for the member states. And from the activities of Foreign Minister Dr. Badr Abdul Ati to the Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources Karim Badawi, as part of the ongoing field monitoring of the petroleum and the mineral resources sector's preparations to meet the peak consumption during the summer season, Engineer Karim Badawi, the Minister of Petroleum, inspected the liquefied natural gas, the LNG import system in the area of Al Ain Al Sukhna. The visit aimed at assessing the technical readiness, operational efficiency, and continuous preparedness to receive the LNG cargoes, regasify them, and inject the gas into the national natural gas grid. During the tour, the minister emphasized that Egypt possesses an integrated and flexible system for securing the natural gas supplies, ensuring that the needs of the power generation stations, as well as various industrial and economic sectors, are met throughout the summer months. In a related context, the Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources affirmed that the completion of the payment and the settlement of all the outstanding dues owed to the investment partners in oil and gas exploration and production sends a clear message reflecting the Egyptian state's commitment to strengthening the trust with the international partners and fostering a stable and attractive investment climate. And still with the activities of Engineer Karim Badawi. As part of the World Energy Forum in Washington, Engineer Karim Badawi, the Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, participated in a special panel discussion entitled Energy, Diplomacy and Regional Stability in the Middle East. The session was moderated by Frederick Kemp, the President of the CEO of the Atlantic Council, which organized the event in cooperation with the U.S. Department of Energy. The minister stated that Egypt's petroleum and mineral resources strategy is based on maximizing the value of the country's resources and unique advantages through the stronger cooperation with the international and the regional partners, including major energy companies such as Chevron, ExxonMobil, Eni, BP, Shell, Apache, ADNOC, Arceus and Dragon Oil. He explained that the ministry is working to create an attractive investment environment by continuously reviewing the financial and the contractual frameworks to ensure the investments generate maximum returns through the rapid development of the existing fields and the swift increase of the oil and gas production. And finally, during his visit to the United States of America, Engineer Karim Badawi, Egypt's Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources, met with Engineer Mohammed Al-Bashir, Syria's Minister of Energy. The two ministers discussed the ways of strengthening the joint cooperation in the oil and gas sectors within the framework of the brotherly relations between the two countries and the ongoing efforts to support regional cooperation in the sector of energy. And to be shedding more light on those important topics and the top stories that we have seen being implemented for the past week and for today, I'm honored to be having with me over the phone Dr. Osama Murad, the financial expert. Dr. Osama, thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile TV International and Money Means Business.
It's an honor to be with you and a pleasure, and all my best regard to the viewers.
Thank you very much. The honor and pleasure are all mine. First of all, we did see the tour conducted by Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli in the governorate of Al-Buhayrah. How do you see the importance of the activities of Prime Minister Madbouli on the ground, especially for the economic sector?
Prime Minister Madbouli has been very active recently, focusing on the economy, and we as Egyptians like to see the head of the government gives a great push, not only to the people on the ground and the businessmen and the workers, but also activates government officials that we are not focusing only on Egypt, on Cairo, which is the main, but we are focusing on all the aspects and the governments in Egypt. Buhayrah specifically is well known for providing the best and the most active workforce in Egypt in terms of labor, so I think it's a very good choice and important factor to boost the regional economies and focus on diversification.
Yes, Dr. Osama, and speaking about Buhayrah, nearby was the governorate of Alexandria earlier on in the week, in the past week on Sunday and Saturday. We have seen another tour being conducted by Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli there and inspecting a number of factories by the private sector being implemented and being founded there in the governorate of Alexandria. How do you see the importance of pushing the wheel of investment in this field, in those sectors, in the Alexandrian governorate?
The Alexandrian government has traditionally been always the second capital of Egypt, has been the summer capital of Egypt, has been important, and have been ignored for a while. Until recently, there's a full revamp of the infrastructure. Infrastructure is being upgraded, specifically transportation. We're seeing metro lines, tram lines, the streets, extension of the corniche. So it's a lot of factors and upgrade of the Alexandrian economy.
Yes, and speaking about the importance of the projects of the renewable energy, and we have seen another meeting being conducted, and of course he had held, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, for the past week with the Minister of Electricity and the Minister of Finance and several other officials to be discussing the future of the renewable and the new energy in general in Egypt to be implemented and to be propagated across the country. How do you see the importance of such a step for the future of energy?
Egypt had one of the first solar stations in the world in the early 1940s and 50s,
yes.
Knowing the importance of solar. And Bimban currently is one of the largest solar parks in the world, and we're also very active on the wind part of electricity. The problem has been always that solar has a feasibility of around 15 years. Very low operational cost, high capital cost, but now with the current oil prices, this becomes feasible, and it is also very important for the sustainability and the energy diversification, because what we have seen in the recent US-Iran conflict is that it's not only the price, sometimes the problem is the availability at all. So I think it's a very important message we're sending both to the international energy sector, that Egypt is focusing on the different parts, and also to the citizens. We have also seen recently initiatives by the government and incentives for factories and farms to implement solar energy. One or several big projects have been announced in the major aluminium factory and fertilizer company, but also lots of private initiatives in the tourism sector and the hotel business, specifically on the Red Sea, because that feeds in their sustainability message and comes well with European tourists.
Yes, and speaking about tourism and investments in Upper Egypt, in the past week we have seen another tour by Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli in the governorate of the New Valley, for example, and then in the 6th of October sitting. But for the New Valley, how do you see the importance of having the push for the industrial wheel in the governorate of the New Valley?
New Valley has been undiscovered. It's one of the lowest populated governorates in Egypt, and it's the biggest in terms of land size. So definitely great potential there. If you combine that with earlier message, be that renewable energy, be that also very active on exports of fruits, specifically dates, but also on hotels and recreational tourism and healing tourism. So definitely important, and it's all not which government does what. The issue is that the Prime Minister is giving messages. I'm all over the place. I'm supporting every initiative around the country.
Yes.
I'm visiting governments, west, east, west, and north, regardless of size and population. So that's a very important message sent politically.
Yes, and speaking about the initiatives all over the country, in the city of 6th of October, the Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, in the past week, he inspected the production lines for several factories, specifically in the fields of food and medicine industries. How do you see the importance of boosting those sectors?
We have both sectors are extremely important for Egypt. First of all, the medical sector has been on top of the agenda of President Sisi. We are celebrating the eradication of hepatitis C. We have the 100 million health initiative. We are changing the insurance coverage, medical insurance company for all Egyptians, with the pilot program now including around 4 or 5 governorates. And it's also one of the export sector where we have a competitive edge, mainly exporting to Africa and some Arab countries. That's regarding the medical sector. Regarding the food, the President and the Prime Minister have both announced that sustainability of the food sector, specifically in logistics crisis, is very important for Egyptians. So one thing is sustainability and sufficiency for all Egyptians to have enough quality food available, but also, since the devaluation, this sector has been a very active and competitive sector in exports. So it's a dual win situation for both sectors.
Yes, and speaking of the exports, there was a phone call being conducted between the Foreign Minister of Egypt, Dr. Badr Abdulati, and the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area in the past week. How do you see the importance of boosting the intra-African trade?
Very important politically, very important for regional stability, very important also if we see the President has received the President of Congo, one of the Nile Basin countries, so it's important for our water security. I'm more of a numbers guy, so unfortunately till now, the exports to Africa don't rank very high on our export radar because simply the purchasing power and also security, logistics, shipping line, banking. Transfers and so on. There are some problems still in Africa which need to be resolved, but it's a long-term strategy. Having our foot there is important strategically for the long term.
Dr. Osama Murad, the financial and economic expert, thank you very much for being with us tonight on Nile TV International and Money Means Business. And this brings us to the end of this episode for the week of Money Means Business. Thank you for watching and goodbye.